In studio, ladies and gentlemen, he is the man that runs the whole operation here. My buddy, my pal, Mark Fernandez. What's up, bud?
What's up? What's up? How are you guys?
Good. Do your thing.
Yeah. So Mark and I decided we're going to do this together here, talking to Collider Live and the whole damn audience here with Collider. So just bottom line, here's how it all went down, goes down, going to happen. Around, I don't know, say 2 months or so, Fernandez and I sat down to talk about the future of Collider Live, the future of Jedi Council, and with me. And we looked like we were figuring some stuff out. And looked like
Schmo Down,
everything. It looked like it was all going to go down. It looked like it was going to happen. And then we kept talking, and then one thing kind of led to another, and we just couldn't really see eye to eye on what was going down. And we're friends, we're businessmen, and we just decided that for what I think Collider is going for, I don't really fit into that particular vision at the moment. So as of November 1st, my last day for Collider will be November 1st. It'll be for Jedi Council, it'll be for Collider. And it's been a 5-year run when you combine it with AMC and sorry, get a little AMC and just Collider in general. I thank Amy Rose Eisenbach for bringing me into the fold, and then John Campia for both putting me on Movie Talk, and he and I kind of came up with Jedi Council, and then being able to, like, for you as a friend, kind of bringing me on and doing the being able to take what I had for Schmoes and turning it into Collider Live and creating this show. It's bittersweet, but it's still it's business, and I get it. But I just wanted, we were going to talk about it, and that's kind of how it is.
Yeah, and look, for me, just to give a little bit of the story, and this might be a little boring, but I think it's good to have some context. I used to run the video team over at Complex. My best friend Mark Echo started that business many years ago. And I was sitting in a mountain in Italy. It's actually a true story, pretty much semi-retired. And Mark Echo was like, come back to Complex, because I was there in the early days, but come back and help us run the video team. And when I took over the video team, we had just bought Collider.
From AMC, yeah.
No. We had just bought Collider, the site.
Okay.
The
site, yeah.
And a few months later, we went to AMC, and we got John Campia and Dennis Zen, and I believe Adam Smith. I think that was the original core team, And I didn't really pay much attention to Collider at first, and this movie talk thing that was going on. But sooner or later, I started paying a little bit more attention to it, And I started coming out here, and I got a chance to meet Kristian, face to face, because back in the old Collider offices, the Schmoes No guys, Kristian and Mark, had kind of this little back office there, where they were doing their shows and stuff like that, but also being on Movie Talk and Jedi Council and stuff like that. And I was immediately taken by Kristian, and by Ellis. But Kristian's one of these great talents, and as we sold Complex to Verizon, I decided to buy Collider, and I bought Collider in large part because of Kristian, and I think Kristian knows that, and he and I have spoken a lot about that. But Kristian, in my opinion, is a wild horse, and horses need to run, Kristian came to me. I'll never forget. He came to me with an idea to do the Schmo Down, he was like a movie trivia show that's like wrestling. I'm telling you, it's going to work. And I was like, I didn't see it in my head right away, but it was Kristian pitching it, so I was like, I'm in. To the point, when I've always brought this up, because I take great pride in this, that I was actually the very first contestant ever filmed in the new version of the Schmo Down at Collider. Yeah. It was me and Makuga.
Yeah. You and Campia were very you guys took the idea and you trusted me with it for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and look, obviously what the Schmo Down has become, it's become a national phenomenon, and and it has some incredible hardcore fans. And look, fast forward to about maybe a year ago, I think it was, where it was like the Schmo Down was starting to reach a certain critical mass, because the Schmo Down was on Collider. And it films here in the Collider Studios, and it still does. But it was on Collider, and it was reaching such a critical mass with all your great Patreon subscribers and like all the support you were getting there and all the support you were getting on the live show, that you were like, look, I think it's time I take the Schmo Down and put it back on the Schmo's channel, what used to be the Schmo's channel, which is now I think the Schmo Down channel.
Right.
And like how all that is growing, and then at that point, because Kristian was my head of development, he was in a full-time capacity as the head of development, running all the shows, because look, ultimately, what it boils down to is and like I know a lot of the audience must think this or that or whatever, but when you're on this side of the table, like when you're inside this room, it's hard to tell because people always want to jump towards like rivalries, but it's really about seeing people succeed. Like to me, I get such a kick out of that. I've run so many companies in my life, and to me, like I look back at the early days of Complex and see how many of those people now are super successful. I look at Complex when we did the first episode of Hot Ones, with Tony Yayo, and seeing where Hot Ones is now. It's on friggin' Jimmy Fallon. It's like it's good. It feels good to see things grow. So for me, the way that I look at this situation is that I like the idea of taking Collider into very experimental areas. That's kind of my thing. I like to experiment. I don't mind failing at things as long as I get some data. I like experimenting with this deep fake stuff, and there's a lot more of that coming down the pike. I like experimenting with this VR stuff, and there's a lot of VR coming down the pike. And Kristian is launching a full-blown network, the Schmo Down Entertainment Network. And like I've seen the show on Tuesday a few times, but I know you got a bunch of other stuff slated out. And like, my hope, and I think Kristian and I are on the same page on this, is that this isn't the end of the track. Kristian is, the Schmo Down as of now is still shooting here. I know it goes, you guys take a little hiatus and it comes back in February. And just like Mark Ellis, my hope is that this is an open door policy. This place the doors are always open to Kristian. It's an honor anytime he hops on one of our videos. He is, he's the last of the sort of that original crew, of like John Campia and John Schnapp, the great late John Schnapp, rest in peace. Mark Ellis, like those guys, that was a special crew, and like, Army Buddy's got to move on, and like that's where we are now. But the story's not written yet. But I wanted to have an early kind of announcement for this because I think it's really important, not only for the audience but for us internally, to give Kristian the respect and the honor that he deserves as our guy, and like, kind of like, I know you're a Yankee fan, so I always see this vision of Wade Boggs, riding the horse, like around Yankee Stadium when the Yankees finally won that series in '96. And look, it's bittersweet for sure, but look, I think it's something that hopefully will, in the long run, turn out great for all of us because it's all about, keeping the relationship, having the open door policy, and having the Schmo Down here, still having that little taste. And then look, maybe one day Kristian and I, and Kristian knows I talk to us about this all the time. It's like, how can I wiggle my way into that Schmo Down? I've always loved the Schmo Down. as a product, not so much as a competitor because I'd get my ass whooped, even though I did beat Makuga in that first one. Right. So anyway, look, I know I'm a little bit rambling on, but look, there's a lot of thoughts
one
here.
of the things that, like you said, that there's no rivalry at all. You're 100% right about that. Like, even when you sat down, we couldn't figure it out, and we said that's just how it goes. We're friends, and we've been colleagues for a long time. This has been my family for 5 years. I'm very proud of what I was able to build with Jedi Council and with Collider Live and with all the other things that I've been able to do here, and the audience that we've kind of nurtured here and shit. I thank you for. There are a lot of people that would, because my whole crew, Copster, Kristian, Cody, Riley, Makuga, Roka, they're all here, and that's because you trusted me enough to say, okay, these are good workers and these are people that you trust, that I want to see how this works here. And they have, and they've all proven it because they're hardcore. Even when Kenny was here too, like, it's that type of thing, and that is what they'll continue to do. And I guess that's another probably question that's probably going to come up is as far as Collider Live and Jedi Council. Collider Live will continue to go on. It's going to be, at the moment, you correct me, if it's Makuga, Riley, and Roxy will be running the ship.
That's correct. Yeah.
And then for Jedi Council, Ken will be hosting.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just to let people know, I'll still be doing my thing. Like for me, like you said, I don't have it in me to not do something.
We're you and I are cut from the same cloth from that perspective. We're both entrepreneurs,
right? So I need to figure out, like, I have ideas of what I'm going to do, what I want to do. I just have to put it in because, like, I got a family too, so I got to figure out how to put food in their mouths and make it work all the way through. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be talking to the fans and everybody else too. And you'll be, if you follow me on Twitter and everything, to the Facebook group, and we've talked about this too. The Facebook group, if you didn't know that already, that was my group, which was Schmoville. That will then turn into my group. Collider Live will have the Facebook page that we've already set up. That'll all change today, but you'll hear, what I'm doing, and you also follow what Riley and Makuga and Roxy are doing. And that's the other thing, like Mark mentioned. November 1st is my last day at Collider. It's not a funeral leading up to November 1st. It's a celebration. And what we'll be doing leading up to November 1st is having the same shows that we have been having. We're going to be having fun. We're going to be creating new memories, new sound bites. We're going to be having a lot of fun. And we'll just do it all the way through. We want you guys to join us with us. And we want you guys to, continue on the ride. Like I said, follow me where I'm going. Stick with these guys. Do it.
Do both.
Do both. And we're going to be having a lot of fun. I'm going to have a lot of exciting announcements. They're going to have a lot of exciting announcements. We're going to be like, this wasn't one of those things like, okay, I'm here, go fuck yourself. It wasn't one of those things. It was like, it was a shake of the hand. We figured it out, and we're sitting here talking to one another like gentlemen, and we're doing it in front of you guys.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So join us. And I have to say, and we'll probably do this again on November 1st, but I thank you guys first and foremost through supporting me here through the good and the bad. I thank, once again, Amy Rose and John Campia for bringing me into this thing, for the late, great John Schnepp, for Mark Ellis, for the crew, for Sinead and Ashley and that old school crew, what we built on this video channel, so it was possible for Complex to buy Collider. And I thank my crew of Cody and Kristian and Riley and Makuga and those guys, Roka, who came over from Schmo's and helped us over here build it to what it was. And we'll have a lot of these conversations. This is not the last before November 1st, but thank you to everyone for the ride that has been Collider and AMC, because it's really one and the same. These last couple of years have been something special, and I thank you for being supporting me and trusting in my vision, whether I was running development and content for you or whether I was just saying, hey, I want to do this crazy morning radio show where we can just it's balls to the wall and we can do whatever we want. Not once did you ever say, don't do that. Yeah. Not once did you ever call me in and say, don't do that, to make sure. And you trusted my vision, and I think because of it, you've seen benefits with Collider Live channel and what Collider Live has done.
Absolutely. Like, safe broadcasting is bad broadcasting, and something that I trust Kristian explicitly in is the fact that I know that he's not safe, and I know that sounds weird saying it like that, but it's his greatest gift, and replacing that is, impossible.
Yeah,
It's absolutely impossible. And like, look, the show, I think, post November 1st is in good hands with Josh. Riley, Roxy. I mean, these are to use a little Star Warsy thing. These are true apprentices to a master that I think are ready, to swing their lightsabers, with their own merit. And like, look, this is a very fluid space. The YouTube space. And like I've said this a little bit on Rula 2, and we got a bunch of weird messages because of it. But the YouTube space is a disaster. It's an absolute disaster when it comes to artists like Kristian, like us, like anybody, trying to make a living out of it. And that's why, I was so impressed with Kristian, with the amount of support that he was able to get on Patreon for the Schmo Down, and support that is ongoing. That's giving him the ability.
I need the support more so than ever now. So make sure you go on over to the Schmo Down Patreon, sign up to that.
And look, because it's a real thing, though. It's a real thing. Yeah. It's rough out there. It's really rough out there. Yeah. And like, the only reason that any of this stuff works is because of you. So it's not about. One of the smartest things my grandfather ever told me, rest his soul, is I was going to a video game store and I didn't know whether to buy the Nintendo Entertainment System or the Sega Master System. And he told me, and I'll never friggin' forget this, he said, "It's why do you have to choose? It's not about either or." He said this in Spanish. It's about both and, So it's not about like whether, Campia or us. I mean, Campia's great. We're good. We're great. What does it have to choose? There is no need for choice. God willing, Kristian launches his own thing. You don't have to choose us or him. It's both of us. I mean, we see each other on a daily basis. We're not making choices about either or. Right. So I don't think the audience should either. And look, and it's tough. It's so easy these days, and I hope I'm not getting a little too philosophical here, but it's so easy these days to want to pick sides, and that creates divide, right? Like, naturally, it creates divide. It's not about choosing sides. It's about embracing the culture of fandom, of people that love movies, love Star Wars, love talking about it. And, we all have something to offer. You know what I mean? So it's not about like, oh, now I got to make a choice about what team I'm on. We're all in the same team, And anyway, that's a bit of a larger thing, but it's something that kind of bothers me. Like, oh, do you like Screen Junkies or Collider or like this one? Like, you can like all of them. Yeah. And anyway, my point in saying all of that is, from the bottom of my heart, I think that I've supported Kristian for a long time. I supported Campia. I still think Campia's show is great. I watch it sometimes. I have no problem with it. I think it's great. I want Kristian to flourish, because if Kristian flourishes, it makes everybody look better in this space. It creates more opportunity in this space. Anyway, I honestly mean that, and I hope that the future is bright for all of us, because we're all going to have to figure out what the heck we do. Right.
Well, I will say that again. Thank you for that, and thank you guys, and again, thank you, Riley. Riley's one of my best friends in the world, and has run this show, and he'll continue to do a great job running it. And like Mark said, I'm going to be doing my own thing, and I hope that you guys will come with me, and stay, and also support Collider Live, support all the great shows that they have over here too. But like Mark said, it will be leaning on you guys. So it's patreon.com/Schmodown. But there's also, you want to go to the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/TheSchmodown, and support me over there. We'll be doing a lot of things. I'll have more information and news about that as the weeks go on. My priority is to end my run here and to do Mark Fernandez proud, to do my friends and colleagues proud, and to do you proud, to make sure that we put on the best things. I don't want you guys watching the last month of this show going, oh, it's Kristian, he's phoning it in. He doesn't really care anymore, because you're not going to see that. You're going to see putting in the best ever. I'm going to have some fun, because these are my friends that I talk to every day. Yeah. These are the reason that the show has been entertaining, and the reason that when we do go to the live events and you guys are coming up to us going, oh my God, I love Collider Live and I love all these things you're doing, is because you feel like you're part of the conversation. I've told you this a million times. I just got... And maybe this is a fault of mine, is that I get tired of just like, if I'm sitting around going, here's the news story, blah, 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 blah. What do you think there, Jeff? What do you think there, Sam? And it's just never been my thing. So when I can do this, to me, this is raw and honest, and we're having a conversation like this. We could have done this in your office, right? But we're doing this in front of the crowd, in the audience, because they deserve that. They like that. They understand that. They respond to it. Whether it's, you'll see passionate responses today. There'll be some people, like you said, that are good for you guys, do it, and there'll be other people who don't get it. Yeah, it's part of what we do. But that's what I love. That's what I love, and that's why Rule of Two works so well, because it's you guys having an honest conversation about it too. I think one of the reasons is that what it used to be back in the day with 2012, 2013. I think those days of the panel shows. I think it's evolving, and I think that's what we're all trying to do.
Yeah. We're all trying to find success, and success hides in many, under many different rocks. But I know you've been itching to say something. Do you have any thoughts?
You guys have said it all. I mean, this is one of those moments that is hard for me as well, because Kristian said it. I mean, this man's going to be my wedding. I've known him that long. And so for him to go off.
I'm not, by the way.
You're not yet. But Fernandez, we have a little bit of time here to. Sorry, thank you, Cody.
Cody, are you at the wedding?
We'll see.
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you, Cody. You and I will hang out that weekend with your kid.
Hell, I haven't even thrown out the invitations yet.
He meant in the party. You're going to be at the wedding.
He's going to stand up there with me.
Yeah, of course.
Here's my point.
He's one of your groomsmen.
He's one of my groomsmen. Yeah. Because he is one of my best friends in the world. Been doing this with him for forever. And I support what he wants to do as well. And I know about everything that he's looking to do. And I know that he's going to make a success of it. That's what Kristian does. When Kristian ever says, I'm going to do this, I go, yep, I know it's going to be a success. The thing that's now on us is to watch him do that and also do our job, which is what I'm excited about as well. I'm excited for him because I'm going to be talking to him every day as well. But we have Collider Live, which I love. And we have a good crew, which I love. I respect the hell out of you, Fernandez, that you're giving us this chance to do this. And I know that Josh and Roxy, we've had the conversation. We're very, very excited to keep going. You say that the goal here is to succeed. I also say it's to entertain and to be a voice out there that everybody can come to, because it's a fucking weird world out there right now. And if we can just make you smile a little bit from 10 to 12 on Collider Live with people that you know and love and new people coming in, continuing to do this, interviews all across the board, then more power to all of us, including Kristian. I'm going to miss the hell out of you, my friend.
Here.
Same here. And just to rehash one more time, the November 1st will be my last official day at Collider, and I think October 31st, Halloween, will be my last Jedi Council. And like Mark said, and you don't mind me saying this, we talked about it too. Of course, I'll be talking about Star Wars on my channel. Of course, I'll be doing those things. That's what I do. Yeah. And you guys, you should watch Jedi Council. You should watch my show. You should do whatever you want to do, and you should support it. But we're going to be doing a lot, because, like I said, I have this is fun for me. This is something I enjoy doing. This is something that has been my career, and this is something now that's all I know how to do. So I've got to kick into a different kind of gear now. It's almost like what I did with Mark back in like 2008, because we were talking about that trip in Alaska where, you're out there, you don't know what to do. You just kind of you can either say, oh, I can go get an office job and do this, or you take the bull by the horns and you just try to ride it. Either fall off and break your back, or you become the best bull rider in the world. So that's kind of what that's my next adventure, and I tackle it. And I hope you guys will come and come with me, and we'll do some fun stuff together. And then I'll come in and I'll be a guest on this show, which will be fun.
Of course. And now you can get on Rule of Two more,
Yeah, for sure.
Look, but I'm excited about this rest of this month. I know Kristian will bring it, and and for sure we'll be talking about this again, having a little bit more, retrospective type stuff. Because look, I honestly do feel that this is a huge loss for us, but it's also a victory, for Kristian in a way, and we deserve to honor those 5 years. I mean, 5 years is a long time.
I'm busting my ass for it. All right. Well, with that, guys, thank you to Mark Fernandez. Thank you to Mark Riley. And thank you all of you guys. Thank you to Cody and all my friends here. And this is not, like I said, November 1st will probably be the real emotional one. So we don't need to do that yet. We got about a month before. So follow us on these this last month of shows. And the easiest thing I can tell you, it's just spelled patreon.com/Schmo Down. All right, guys, we'll see you after the break.